Joining me in the studio is a family counselor and life coach, and many of you probably know her by now, but for those of you that don't, it's Jennifer Karina. Welcome into the studio.
Thank you, Mike.
Always a pleasure having you here.
It is my joy.
Now, majority of us, when we talk about infidelity, we probably jump to physical infidelity, and it is happening a lot. But is there something like emotional infidelity?
Yes, there is a lot of emotional infidelity. And when someone gets into a relationship, the emotional connection is important. In terms of emotional infidelity, it happens when someone spends more time with someone that is not their partner. They have an attachment because of what they do together or enjoying one another's company, and many times this is kept secret. And that is what makes the relationship challenging, because it happens at the workplace, it happens with a colleague, it happens...
Could even be a family friend.
With a family friend. It happens with people in the same circles. You just find yourself attracted to someone, and while you are attracted to that person, then an attachment begins to develop. And so that friendship, it begins as a friendship, a platonic relationship that goes beyond the normal.
Now, with physical infidelity, it's very easy to draw the line and say, you've crossed the line.
Yes.
Because there is, contact and all that.
Yes.
How do you know you've gone into emotional infidelity? At what point do you draw the line? Because really, as much as you have a partner, you may have a confidant.
Yes.
Somebody you can talk to, somebody you can pour your heart out to, somebody you can confide in. At what point does it become now that it's infidelity?
Well, to begin with, it is a simple thing as when you wake up in the morning, who are you dressing for? Where it comes to a woman, even men are very particular about how they dress. You dress with this person in mind. You are thinking you want to impress someone, not your significant other, but somebody who is your friend in quotes. You're looking forward for them to let you know how good you look. So if your motive in the way that you look and dress every day is to attract somebody else, that person who you think that is a friend and not someone that you're having a physical contact, that's a first sign. Number two, if you are spending too much time with someone who is a friend and the time is not justifiable and the family is losing out on time, then that is a red flag. Thirdly, if when you have lunch with this person, when you have time together, you are not able to share that with your partner, then you are drawing closer to emotional infidelity. Relationships begin with a friendship. Friendship is nurtured, and one of the levels of intimacy is emotional intimacy. And so when you are in a relationship with somebody other than your spouse, and you move towards that level of intimacy, it becomes dangerous because you become one emotionally. It gradually grows towards emotional infidelity.
Are there telltale signs one can see that my partner is possibly emotionally disconnecting or connecting to another person?
It begins by actually recognizing that your partner is becoming very critical of you. Because when you start engaging with someone else emotionally, you start seeing little things that are insignificant about your partner. Social media has become quite a challenge, and there are people that would rather sit up just engaging on Facebook instead of going to bed. There are those that will wake up in the middle of the night just to be able to respond to an email, to respond to an SMS. If that is happening, then you ought to ask yourself.
Red flag is up.
Red flags. I mean, who is this that you have to be speaking with at the wrong time of the night?
Now, sometimes it's not planned that you get into emotional infidelity because maybe, like you said, it starts with a friendship that's nurtured and grows
Yes.
into something else. And maybe it's even out of a challenge that was there at home.
Yes.
And you find this person who you confide in and they are receptive. If somebody finds themselves already, they've crossed the line, how do you get out of it?
Let me say, Mike, that before you cross the line, you are fully aware of what's going on. Because you find yourself thinking about this person, wanting to be with this person, desiring their company. When you feel that way, then you need to check yourself. And as I said, it begins by your attitude towards that person. The closeness starts by beginning to dress for them. As you wear that shirt, you know I like pink. So because you're meeting me, you are wearing pink, and I'm going to be happy about that. Whatever you do, you have that friend in mind. That's now when you start retreating. You know, Paul says, flee from youthful lusts. If you feel that you're now getting emotionally attached to someone, it's not telling the person that this is how I'm feeling about you. It's not discussing with anyone that this is what I feel about you. It is recognizing that it is wrong. I have a partner that I ought to be faithful to, both physically and emotionally, and you need to withdraw. Reduce the contact hours with this person. And awareness, as I say, is always the heartbeat of therapy. The minute you're aware that you are feeling attached to someone, you need to disconnect the attachment.
And I'm sure you'd have a way of disconnecting, especially since you knew how you got in there.
Exactly. You know, you're very aware. And what happens is emotional attachments, as they come gradually, when you will have the moment of contact, a hand will stretch from the table, and the minute the connection happens, electricity will just be what will put you on the next level. And you become physical. You never asked for it, but it takes just a touch to move from emotional to physical.
Thank you, Jennifer. God bless you.
Thank you, Mike.
And remember, if there's a topic that you'd want us to handle, possibly you're sitting and thinking, well, I wish you would talk about this, you can let us know on 5335. Send us a text, and we'd be more than happy to see whether we can help.
This is going to help us because we have been looking for a media house that will portray a good picture of the prisons.
I'll only tell you, I'm happy. I love you, brother. I appreciate you. That's where the aspect of worship comes in.